Hi everyone. Today we have the immense pleasure, privilege of having seated down with India's Caitlin Clark, the Sia Devdhar. To give you all one of the biggest introduction of her, she is someone who not only played at the Asian Games but broke India's record at the Asian Games. Sia, it's a massive privilege to be sitting down with you, and it's an absolute pleasure. Maybe you could just start off by giving an informal introduction because we are intending on covering how your life has been so far. So, to give a few highlights, let's start off with that.
So guys, my name is Sia Devdhar. I'm from Nagpur, Maharashtra. I started playing basketball when I was I think in second grade. I used to swim before
fine.
that. Like I wanted to be a swimmer. But then there's a funny story. So my school timings wouldn't match with the swimming batch. So and the basketball court was nearby. So my mother was like, let's just put her in basketball and let's see how it goes. My family actually wanted to put me in every sport possible just to try everything out because like not doing sports was never an option for my family. So I started going to the basketball court and eventually fell in love with the sport. And here I am today. I'm representing my country and intending to be the starting point guard for the Indian national team soon and hopefully being the captain.
Let's go. This is one of the most powerful introduction I would ever come across in my life. And to give you all a little more about Sia, I have had the opportunity of having her as my captain when I played from Maharashtra. And a few things I really appreciate about her, and we're going to talk about that one by one. To begin with, her presence on the court. So, when a point guard passes someone the ball, that person feeling motivated 10 times more to make that shot is only because of the confidence the point guard has showed in that person. And Sia, the way she takes up that leadership, the way she trusts her teammate to come through on it, I think that makes her one of the greatest players present. My question to you is, what is your mindset behind when you enter the court? Like, what are you thinking of? What do you do any kind of mental preparation before every game? What goes on in your mind? Like, because if you all have seen any game of hers, you're going to see her be a tiger on the court, like insane.
So initially it was just about winning and my mindset would be we have to win this game by hook or by crook. But then later as I matured as a player, I realized that it's not like when you're in the game you can't just think about winning. It's every possession, it's every pass, it's every dribble that you make. You have to take a conscious decision and do that. So you can't be driven by the emotion of winning. You have to be smart about it. So a lot of things have changed and I've changed a lot. I feel like I've grown a lot as a player. I've matured. So the mindset is actually really different in every game.
Phenomenal. I think this is something every player needs to hear once in their life, that even though you're driven by winning, the emotion cannot take over on the court. You have to be that balanced person, and we have the epitome of that sitting right here with us. So thank you so much for giving that kind of an advice. You mentioned to us you were initially intending on swimming, but because of schedules and you are a blessing to Indian basketball today. Thanks to that happening. What was the next first accomplishment? I think what I have seen your games, I remember you were around 11 years old playing an under 16 state basketball tournament in Nasik from Nagpur, and while being 11, the youngest person on the team, probably she got best player of the tournament. So since then she has been outshining herself. So what has been like your first win in life? What was your goal setting mentality? That when did you decide that you wanted to play from your country? Was it like written somewhere? How did you come to that?
So initially when I just joined, I think I was like a very high energy person on the court and that's how my coach actually scouted me.
Wow.
I was like casually just dribbling with the kids and I would like always compete with them. Like I had to be the first one crossing the line. And I think my coach saw some spark in me and he like at that moment he just took me and he put me in the group of the older girls. So like throughout my life I've been practicing with people not my age but older than me, and I feel like that definitely shapes you as a player. And I've never been scared to play against people who are older than me, stronger, faster or taller, because one day you just have to face all these challenges and you have to just push through it. And talking about I usually would like stress a lot because there were some goals that I had set for myself and not every time I would just achieve them. But then I started celebrating the small wins, like the small victories that I like accomplished. And now looking back, I realized that the day my coach put me in the older people group, I think that is a small victory.
Of course.
Getting selected in an age category, like being 10 years old and being selected in the under 16 category, that is a small win. Getting the playing time is a small win. So I think you have to celebrate those small wins.
Whoa. I think this kind of player maturity has to come from someone who has broken like records at the international level. So thank you so much for saying that. Moving on, how did your basketball journey go through? Once you, after, like, which school did you go to?
So I was in Bhavan Civil Lines and I was there till the 10th grade. Then I did my 11th and 12th grade in US. I was on a basketball scholarship from the NBA Academy. I was in Life Prep Academy. Shout out to Life Prep Academy. They have shaped me a lot, and I feel like I owe them a lot because they have transformed me as a player, not just playing wise, but also the basketball IQ that comes with it.
Incredible. So she's mentioned two things here. One is the NBA Academy and one is the Life Prep Academy. Let's fixate on both. What was your first time being in the NBA Academy like? To my experience, for the ones who might have not come across this, I think NBA Academy is one of the best shaping platform a person can get, and it's the most competitive academy to get into in India. Only if you're in the top 20, top 20 people of the nation at around that in the school category, you make it to the NBA Academy, and there they bring in players from the WNBA, they bring in the best coaches, and you get an exposure like never before. Moving on, naturally Sia being Sia, she excelled out there. She not only went for BWB Asia, but she also qualified for BWB Global. So let's focus on that. What happens during an NBA Academy? How are the training schedules? How is it different from the other coaching that you might have received? And how is that as a platform in general?
So there's a big difference between these platforms and playing in India. One is that all of the players are good there. So there have to be other things which you have to be good at. So coming from India, and I attended these camps with other Indian athletes as well, and they are not vocal enough. I feel like these American coaches and these coaches from Europe and all these WNBA players, they're looking out for people who can express themselves. They are looking out for people who are going to step up, and like there are demonstrations right before every drill, and they need players who can step up and come out of their comfort zone and get a little uncomfortable to become comfortable. So I feel like I did that well, and that's what they liked about me. So I feel like, and that also comes from my upbringing, like how my parents have shaped me to become who I am today. And I feel like all of these things go into becoming a good athlete, a good basketball player.
Amazing. Before we get to Life Prep, let's divulge a little. How has your parental support been in your life if you have a sibling?
Okay, so I have a younger brother who also plays basketball. His name is Soham Deodar, and so he quit chess because he looks up to me and he wants to play basketball.
Woo!
So now he is doing full-time basketball.
Wow.
And my parents are both athletes. Not like my father used to compete. He was a judo karate player, and my mother not competing, but she plays badminton now, and she used to
Wow.
swim before. So like that sports person is in me because of them. And like I told you, they always wanted me to do some sport or the other, and
Wow.
their opinion was for me to join a team sport specifically because you get to learn many life skills, being with a team, adjusting with them, getting to know people, so that was their main focus. And till now in India, people want their children to like sometimes quit sports and focus on their career, study. But for me and like my parents, the support has been massive. And for me still, basketball is my first priority and studies is second. So I think I owe them everything. And I am what I am today because of my parents, my family, and their support.
Uncle, auntie, thank you for giving us Sia. We are very blessed. Okay, so as Sia mentioned, she was studying at the Life Prep Academy for 2 years from a scholarship from the NBA Academy. We want to understand that US being the best country in basketball, NBA, WNBA thrives there. It's a dream to play at those leagues for a lot of Indians. For some Indians, it's a dream to play from their country. For some Indians, it's both.
Yeah.
How does US basketball differentiate from Indian basketball? There, a lot of academies are designed for the sole purpose of someone making a full-time career in basketball. How is it different from India?
So, like I've heard many athletes say that the physicality is the main, like the setback for the Indians. But I really don't think so. I mean, yeah, we tend to be smaller and a little timid, but I don't think basketball is just about being tall, being strong, being huge. I don't think. I don't think that. But what I think is that all these countries who are thriving in basketball have been, the players, the athletes have been taught the skill, the fundamentals. Their fundamentals are strong because they've been taught from the very grassroots level. But for the Indians, like for me personally, I learned many new things when I was in the Indian camp. Like I was not taught from a very young age. It was when I was 16, when I got selected in the camp, that is when I got to learn many new things. And like I would also like to
Point out.
thank NBA Academy because I got a chance to be in the academy first and then attend the Indian camp, and I was one step ahead of the other people because I got to learn a lot of things there. So I feel like the fundamentals and the skill set which the grassroots players have there and here, I think that's the main like difference, is that what I would like to say.
Very well pointed out by Sia. Moving on, since you mentioned that first you went to the NBA Academy, post that you went to the Life Prep Academy. So, what was your routine like out there? What, like, do they focus particularly on your diet as a player? Do they have some different, like, do they focus on players' mentality? Do you have sessions not only about the physicality, not only physical sessions about the sport, but also mental sessions? How did it work in your academy?
I'll address the life prep question first, and in that I would say that it is a completely different world. And I mean, like, you see these Netflix movies and you feel like you kind of know how high school in US is, and I feel like going there, I literally did watch some of the Netflix series just to like get a glimpse of it, but it's a completely different world. It's not easy, it's tough, you're going to cry, you're going to feel like you're going to hit the rock bottom, you're going to feel like you're in the wrong place and you'll feel like going back home. But I feel like pushing through it, like coming out of it, you'll feel like the best version of yourself. It will shape you and you're going to be a better person, not only just a good player but a good person. And for us, the practice sessions would be tough, and there would have been days when I would just not feel like getting out of the bed, and because it was tough. But then coming back to India, I really miss it. I feel like I would like Coach Jeff Henry. He was my coach in life prep, and I feel like every basketball team should have a coach like him.
Wow.
I mean, you're going to hate him for some time, you're going to love him, but coming back to India and thinking about all those days and all those memories, I feel like he should be here.
Whoa. Very well said. And for a player of this stature to say something about a coach is, I'm sure, so would have been exemplary. Moving on to the NBA Academy questions. What kind of camps did you do? Which places did you visit? What was the on-court, off-court time that you spent out there?
So when I first got an email from the NBA Academy for the camp that was going to be held in Delhi.
Did you check your email?
No, I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a number. Wherever I would go, I'd give my father's number and his email. So thank God he keeps a track on his email, because I got like, otherwise it would, I don't know. But I got that and I had no clue, like, what is this? Is it like a advertisement? I don't know what was it. But like when I thought about it, the NBA Academy for the boys was like going on for a year now, and I knew that they would eventually come up with something for girls as well. So when I looked into it, there was like a proper invitation, like, and you had to fill the form, and they had like all these like they were introducing you to the program, and like they had proper itinerary, what all things were going to be, like what all things they had planned for us and everything. And the most exciting part was that there were tickets, air tickets down and back. That was like, that was the best part. So, and I was so scared to travel alone. Like I was like 14, I think, and I was like, everywhere I would go with the team or with my parents. But this time I was like traveling alone, like coordinating, contacting people. Okay, I'm here, come pick me up. Like it was, everything was so different. Everything was so new. Like everything was like, I don't know how I did it, but it was so much, like it was fun. And then from that camp, they had picked up players to go for the BWB Asia, which was going to be in Japan. And there were two guys and two girls, and then I had to travel to Tokyo alone. So that was amazing. But they in that camp in Tokyo, they had given me a name or a nickname, I don't know how you would say it, but they used to call me Spicy Curry over there. I don't know, was it because of the shooting or because of my handles, and I'm from India, so the spicy. But they used to call me spicy curry there.
Ooh, spicy
And
curry.
the best part was after coming back, my father actually received an email from a coach there, like appreciating my game and my presence on the court. And I still have that email. I've like flagged it. And sometimes when I'm feeling a little bit down, I just go back and read it.
We'll
and-
try to get it from her.
yeah. And yeah, that's how it is. Then I eventually got an invitation for the BWB Global, which was in Chicago.
Ooh.
And actually, I also have missed a camp because of COVID. And like, I think that would have been a great opportunity and a great platform. But then again, like, you lose something, you get something. So
Let's go. So, how was the experience in Chicago at the global level? BWB stands for Basketball Without Borders. She's doing that at the global level, one of the best in the world. And Sia was present there. What was the competitiveness out there? How were the other players out there? The best of the best players from the world have come together at that one place.
Yeah.
What is the vibe? What is going on in your mind?
So it is very like everyone is taller than you. I was like the shortest person there.
That's an achievement.
Okay,
It
okay.
is.
But I was not very strong, I would say, not very tall, and like not really confident about myself. But I feel like you get out of your comfort zone and you just figure things out. But on the first day, it was like I had to talk to the people looking up like that. It was very weird, and I mean, you obviously lose a little bit of confidence there. But then after like the moment we touch the ball, we are shooting, we are dribbling. I'm like, no,
Spicy curry at play. Nothing
no.
doing.
I mean, they might be stronger, but definitely not more skilled than me. So
Woo!
that was
That's
like a booster for me. And I mean, it was all good. I feel like I believe in God a lot, and He has a plan for everyone. And I feel like being underconfident to becoming confident, I think it was all written.
Ooh.
And here I don't know how, but
Very, very, very well said. Moving on, what was it like for the first time when you found out you are going to wear the India branding merchandise? You are going to stand in a stadium, listen to the national anthem before your game. The entire country, you're going to carry the weight on your shoulders, and you're going to take up that responsibility of playing from the Indian basketball team. What was that moment like? What was your reaction when you found out that this is going to be like, I have accomplished one of the greatest milestone every sportsman would dream of?
I'm still getting goosebumps, guys, when I think about it. But yeah, I think I was crying. But when I spoke to my parents and my grandparents after getting to know it, like they were almost in tears, because it's not just my dream, it's their dream too. And I would like to tell a story. So there's this ad of a TV wherein there's this father and his daughter, and they both are watching TV together. And in that, there's an athlete. She's representing India, and she's a football player. And her father says that one day even I would like to, like on the same TV, even I would like to watch you play with that India jersey on. And there I was with my father watching the same advertisement, and he's like, even I'm going to see you there one day. And then when it actually happened, it was like, I don't know how I would like to I don't know how to express that. But yeah, that was like the father-daughter moment for me. And I think, I don't know if it's a cringe story, but I don't care. And that's like the best moment of my life. Like I can never forget it.
So much respect for you, for your family. This is what everyone's been yearning for, and everyone is looking up to. Thank you so much for telling us that. Moving on to the question, what was it like? Did you expect that you were going to break the record at the Asian Games? And since Asian Games is different from other international tournaments, there are not only basketball, there are a lot of sports going on. It's not like a FIBA where there'll only be basketball. So what was it like being surrounded in that sporting environment with all the best players of all Asian countries coming together? So paint a picture for us. Like how is it like being present at the Asian Games?
So the moment you step into the village, like the village where the players are, so where the players, their accommodations, their like dining halls and all these things, it's the village.
Where was it?
We were in Hangzhou, China. So the moment I stepped in the village, I think the world had taken a 360 spin, because you can't see normal people there. You just see athletes with their dietitians, with their coaches, with their nutritionists, with their psychologists and all that. Like it's a very different world. And like you go into the dining hall, there's like these vast like the menu, and like you know, many different things according to your diet plan and all that. Like it's a crazy, it's a different world.
Wow.
And wearing that India t-shirt or the track suit and all that, it was like, you know, being a spokesperson for the country almost.
Yes.
Like I was feeling like Narendra Modi actually. Like this is India. I'm representing India.
Yes.
This is me. And you know, like the feeling of like pride. And but also, like, on the other hand, it was almost like a wake up call for me, because there are a lot of things that go into becoming a good athlete, and I wasn't doing all of that necessarily. Like, there are many things, but if you see athletes from Japan and China, the way they like carry themselves, what are they doing before the game, what are they doing after the game, how they are performing, it's very different. We need to learn a lot of things. Like, I was taking notes, and like,
Wow.
you know, I wanted to like just take some of bits and pieces from them so that I can shape myself at the end of the day. So
True sign of being the player that the level she's playing at. Wow. So this has truly been gold for us. Moving on to the final question. What would be your advice to someone who wants to become the next Sia Devdar in India, to someone who's looking up to you? And after that, I'd also like you to answer, what are your next set of goals? What do you have something particular in mind? Do you go step by step? How does it work?
So my I don't know, piece of advice for the young athletes would be that I don't want to say wasted, but like there was a patch when I was not enjoying when I was playing, but now that I've started enjoying the game, like to play the game, I think I'm a better athlete. And I feel like there are going to be a lot of ups and downs, lot of hurdles, lot of challenges that you'll have to face, but your hard work and your never give up attitude is what is going to set you like on a different track from the people who don't have that. So I feel like be consistent and keep working hard, and you'll you know, achieve your dream one day.
Woo! Finally, what are your next big goals? If you'd like to, if you have them in mind, or are you a person who goes step by step? If you have something about transitioning basketball in India, you are at a platform where you can take it up yourself and inspire people. What is your next motivation? What is your next aim?
So the concrete main long-term goal that I have is to be the part of the Indian national team, to start as the point guard, eventually even become the captain of the team. And yeah, and I feel like I'm going to achieve it soon. I have that vibe. And also, like, I want my story to be like to be out there. I want people to get inspired. I want to inspire people. I want to, you know, tell all these little young girls that it is possible and you can achieve whatever you dream, and just dream big. Like, dream big.
On that note, coming to the end of the podcast with the Sia Devdar. Thank you so much for taking out the time. She has a flight. I'm making her late for her flight, and she still managed to sit here for so long. Thank you so much. I've had the opportunity to play with her, and she is a blast on the court. Please go and catch her matches. Go and follow her on Instagram. You'll see only inspiration coming your way. So let's hope we have the next captain of India sitting next to us. Let's all manifest that, and let's make it happen. Let's go Sia Devdar. And we are going to get a jersey signed from her. Maybe I'll attach a clip later. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.